The unique requirements of veterans and their families require a distinct set of educational programs and support to fit their lives. National University gets it. With over 50 years supporting and educating the military community, they offer tuition scholarships for veteran spouses, generous credit transfer policies, and the flexibility of 4- and 8-week online courses. That's why 30% of their students are military affiliated. NU, education that serves those who serve.
From a meeting at the office to a big first date, there's a lot of pressure to wear the right clothes for every event. But clothes don't make the man. So why stuff your closet with things that only work for some situations? With Mack Weldon, you can build a wardrobe that looks polished in any setting. Their clothing is understated and tells the world that you stay you wherever you go. They craft each piece by combining timeless style and modern performance materials. So you can stay looking good and feeling comfortable from morning to evening. No wardrobe changes required. Browse everything from summer-ready tech linen shorts and anti-odor polos to tailored sweats and crews for a night in. They can outfit you for anything, no matter what's on your agenda for the day. Go to MackWeldon.com and get 25% off your first order of $125 or more with promo code MACK25. That's MackWeldon.com. Promo code MACK25.
Hey there, fictional friends, and welcome to another episode of Fully Booked. I'm Megan.
And I'm Shireen.
And it is officially the month of September.
September!
There it is. Every month.
I don't know. I don't know if you hate it, but it doesn't matter at
no,
this
it's
point.
fine. Like clockwork. Anyway. Yay, there's a chill in the air.
Oh.
It's like not 35 degrees outside.
God, I was getting real fed up of all those
Celsius.
heat waves.
I don't know how Fahrenheit works. I'm sorry, I'm Canadian. I got nothing for you if you don't know what I'm talking about.
It's been well hot.
Oh, so it's too hot. Might be too hot.
Might be too hot.
Yeah. That's a really niche joke for any in-betweeners
Fans out there.
Anyway, we are kicking off a new theme for the month of September, and we're actually taking on a kind of subgenre that we've never taken on before. Yeah. So we figured it's back to school time.
Yeah.
There's just like that, I don't know, there's that vibe of like people entering a new phase in
Every
school.
September, I want to go and buy school supplies.
Yeah. So in the spirit of all of that, I guess,
Yeah.
for the month of September, we're going to be talking about dark academia.
Woo!
Yay. And we're going to be having kind of discussions, like, I guess, that range sort of broadly about, like, kind of different aspects of dark academia and kind of, you know, elements of them specifically. And we're kicking things off today by having a conversation, I guess, again, more of like a broader spectrum sort of conversation about maybe dark academia as a whole, but then also why so many of them include elements of, like, secret societies and like clubs, and why it is that we're so sort of obsessed with these things. Like, why do we love and why are we so drawn? Yeah, like what's the allure of these like secret societies and the idea of like these secret clubs in schools that are kind of underground and that like faculty can't really deter us from having, or whatever it is, you know, like,
well, they can't like obstruct almost.
True.
Like,
yeah,
the secret societies prevail.
I guess so. Yeah, that's it. So we're kind of going to be, I don't know, kind of talking about it, I guess, like overall as like a broad kind of concept, but sort of how it relates back to dark academia and something that we like recurringly see over and over and over again in these stories. Mm-hmm. Before we do that and get started, Shireen, what is on your nightstand this week?
I'm currently reading The Perfect Marriage by Geneva Rose.
Got it.
And it's basically kind of a, I guess, thriller, maybe, I'm not sure. Mystery thriller. It's about Sarah, who's a hotshot defense attorney in DC, whose husband is having an affair and he gets accused of murdering his mistress.
Okay.
And so now she's tasked with defending him.
There's no way that they would allow you to do that, but I get it. For the purpose of the book. For the purpose of the book, though, it must be interesting. It's an interesting dynamic.
I know. It's got to be like a conflict of interest. That was my first thought when I started reading it. I was like,
So my understanding is that there's a second book that's actually come out this year called The Perfect Divorce, right?
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Okay, that follows, like, I don't know what the story is, but follows, like, something, whatever happens, the aftermath of all of this. Okay, yeah, cool.
Yeah, so far it's pretty good. Captivating. Characters are, pretty interesting. I'm enjoying it. Nice. So I'll probably throw it your way after.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. I always like a good thriller. So,
what about you?
I mean, in that same vein, I recently read Riley Sager's latest release called With a Vengeance.
Was it good? I have it.
I liked it. Yeah, I thought it was good. I don't think it was necessarily my favorite, but it was like a cool concept. It was an interesting one. Post World War II set, made in 1950s, from what I remember, on a train going from, I want to say, Philadelphia to Chicago, if I'm not mistaken. There are multiple people on the train who have been brought there because of various letters that they have received.
Very Murder-on-the-Orient-Express.
Very Murder-on-the-Orient-Express. It's revealed sort of earlier what the reasoning is for them all being there and who has orchestrated this. And of course, as people begin to be killed off, even though they're not supposed to be killed off, everyone sort of has to work together to figure out what it is exactly that's happening and who's actually doing this in the first place. But yeah, no, it's cool. It was pretty good. I liked it. It was, it was fast-paced. It was interesting. It's got the multiple POVs that you kind of need in a story like this to sort of give you little breadcrumbs throughout the course of the novel.
Keep you interested.
Yeah. So I recently finished that, and I also, by the time you guys hear this, there will be a review up on the website, but we had the opportunity to receive an ARC of a Romantasy release that's just dropped as of September 2nd called The Shattered King, which is the newest in, definitely the newest in a series by an author named Charlie N. Holmberg. Sort of base level, follows a world in which magic is essentially banned. However, there are still people with the magical ability of healing, essentially, who are still sought after and used essentially to help people, particularly in wealthy positions. So the lead character's name is Nim, and she is a healer who doesn't necessarily flaunt her power, but she is summoned to the capital to heal the prince who has been sickly his entire life. And to find a way to kind of like enter, they sort of like, it's almost like entering someone's consciousness, but it's like their illness that you're finding when you're in there. It's hard to describe. It's really well described in the novel, but I'm doing a terrible job of it. And so obviously a bond is formed between the two of them, and she kind of starts to realize that there may be more to his alleged illness than it first seems. Like he should be dead based on the way that he physically is, and for some reason he's not dying, and so she starts to kind of wonder what it is and what she can do to maybe heal him, and if there's more to it than that. But there's like quite a bit that, like, it was pretty slow moving for the first half, and I was like, okay, this has to be a series because like we've not gotten through
a lot of world building
for things. Yeah, exactly, that's it. We've not really gotten into like the meat of it, which it definitely going to be. I don't know if they've announced actually like when the second one will come out. March 3rd of 2026 the second one's expected. So that's when I'm
not long then.
No, that's it. So that's good.
And this one's just coming out now?
Yes.
Wow.
It's fast, eh?
Wow.
This is like romance fast.
This is like, September, October, November, December, January, February, March. 6 months.
6 months.
Wow.
Yeah. Anyway, so that, I guess that's what I can expect, because it fully, I will say, like, I won't give any other spoilers, but it does definitely end on a cliffhanger.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's definitely going to be
sounds good though.
One of those. Yeah. You know what? Like when it really picked up and got going at first, I was kind of like, okay, where are we going? Where are we going? Where are we going? And it did take a little while, but once it got in there, I was like, okay.
Yeah.
All right. I'm into this.
Sounds good.
Yeah. Okay, let's turn it around. Let's talk about some things. So, okay, for people who, I guess, maybe at like a base level aren't super familiar with it, to an extent, essentially at their core, I guess, dark academia books they can fall into multiple subgenres, but it's like a genre of book that focuses on that's set in generally an academic institution of some sort. It oftentimes focuses intensely on like the school setting itself, whatever it may be. It does very frequently anyway take place in like either boarding schools or like elite institutions of some sort. Yeah.
Right? Like you have to kind of remove the having to return home aspect for these.
That's it. And like, sort of higher ranking institutions and stuff like that.
Some sort of prestigiousness.
Ivy
attached.
Leagues, whatever the case may be, those types of
At all
things.
levels of education,
Yes.
too.
I would say that very often, correct me if I'm wrong, but I would say very often it does feature a lot of elements of like gothic writing
A little
to
darker.
a degree. Yeah, because it tends to float more on the side of either like mystery or fantasy, depending on what type of, sometimes it's merging of both, depending on what type of book that you're picking up, and kind of like touches on many aspects of those.
Sometimes
And
they go a little bit more horror, too.
true. Yeah, there are a few of those as well, but it does tend to skew, that's it, to the darker sort of themes on a lot of sides of things. And within a lot of those, a lot of what we see, which is kind of why we were, I guess, talking about this when we were chatting about what we wanted to sort of cover for the month, a lot of what these novels kind of get into have to do with things like secret societies within these different academic institutions, whether this is fully fictionalized and you're talking about like a magical school that doesn't actually exist, whether it's set in a school that does exist, like if it's set at Oxford or Yale or something like that.
See what you mean, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like there are different aspects of it. So sometimes the secret society aspect is something that is maybe based slightly in reality, and sometimes it's something that's completely made up by the author, sort of depending.
Yes, and I would say that a lot of the time we read about them in schools that are like real.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of the world building aspect of something that we already know about. Whereas if you're introducing like a secret society on top of like a fictional school in a fictional world where like magic exists and stuff, it starts to kind of water down the
secret society aspect of it.
Yeah,
maybe.
like the draw of that, you know, because you're like, oh, okay, do I look over here? Do I look over here? Like what's the interesting part of this?
Yeah,
you know?
where are we when we're looking at it right now? Yeah, that's true. I could see that. But I do find that that's something you see it over and over and over again in a lot of these. It's either like a quote unquote secret society that like exists within the school and they have to go through initiations and blah 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 blah, or in some cases they keep it a little bit more simple, and the group, let's say, of friends that the lead character, you know, joins, essentially have their own little club.
Right.
That becomes like their like quote unquote secret society that they have, you know, like their little thing that they do.
Right.
You know, and that's it. Like to your point, you know, sometimes when they're doing like the maybe more magical realism side of things, they touch on stuff that's a little bit more, I guess, like a little bit more like set within reality. Like, isn't it like Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo?
Yes.
That one is set at Yale from what I remember, but there is like a secret society aspect to that, and it does kind of flow into that magical realism side of things, because there's like a supernatural aspect to what's going on.
That's a good example,
Yeah, and that one's one of the, I would say one of the bigger ones. Maybe I'm not thinking of some of them there, but I would say like a lot of those are, that one's really big. Some that you maybe fall into more of like the, let's say, horror thriller category is going to be something like Bunny by Mona Awad. I believe that one delves a little bit more into the just like club with friends side of things, you know. What else? What are the other ones? Like A Deadly Education by Amy Novick is a really big one. The Atlas Six has those types of vibes.
A big one, yeah.
I know Never Let Me Go by Kazuo Ishiguro, I believe.
Oh, yeah, but that one
is like a boarding school one.
Yeah, but that one's different, though.
Why?
Because isn't that one about the clones?
Oh, maybe. I think you might be right.
Yeah, where they use them for their body parts.
It's more sci-fi.
Yeah.
There's A Study in Drowning by Ava Reed, which is a more recent one.
Da Vinci Code. Da
Vinci Code kind of falls into that. Picture of Dorian Gray, I guess, kind of a little bit.
The Atlas Six.
Yeah.
There's not like an extensive list of very, very popular ones, I would say.
No, I know what you mean.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like where you can just kind of like ramble them off your fingers. Like
maybe some people can, I don't know.
Well, you could, like if you were really into this, but it just feels that like we could kind of pick a lot more of any other genre, where here we're like, okay, hang on, we're getting real specific here.
It's true. Yeah.
You know?
Because sometimes people will classify something, I find, as dark academia because of the maybe aesthetic of it, but it doesn't necessarily mean that it's dark academia, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? Where you're like, okay, but they're they're not at a school.
No,
and
well,
there's
that's
nothing
it.
happening within that school. It's just because like it's set in an older section of England, and there are libraries in some of the scenes and stuff. You know what I mean? Like, and you're like,
yeah,
no, this doesn't really count anymore.
You know, like, and I'm trying to see like what else might come out, but you know, there's a lot of them that
There's a ton.
Yeah, and you think, you know, you think secret society, you think of things like the Illuminati or like
the Freemasons.
like you know,
a lot of those things. And there are some. I'm looking through like a list. There are some in every country, essentially all over the world, whether it's Asia, Africa, in Europe. Yes, there's like, you know, like a big kind of, because of things like Freemasonry, obviously, there's like a big thought of this. But, you know, even like each country a lot of countries seem to have like some of their own individual ones. Even.
But then, hang on a second. If we know about these secret societies, how secret are they really?
Oh, I know.
You know?
I mean, that kind of delves into its own
kind of
topic.
Yeah, well,
right?
That's my point. Like, so then maybe if I backtrack a little bit on what I said at the beginning, yes, a lot of them are based on like schools that we've seen in our day to day, but there is usually that aspect of something like a little bit more, I don't know, witchy or, you know, sometimes supernatural or, you know, whatnot that we have to build on, because it makes the allure of the secret society in that story just a little bit more intriguing.
Yeah, it's true. Because if not, I don't know, it would just feel a little bit boring, wouldn't it?
It would, yeah.
They would have a tendency to, so a lot of them do skew into more of a, that's it, whether it's fantasy or whether it's, or like you can skew it into the thriller and horror because there can be like a murder or something that happens, like, you know, to keep those kinds of things too, right? What am I thinking of right now? There's a book that I read a couple of years ago by an author named Alex Michaelides. Cannot remember what the name of this book is, and I'm sure someone's shouting at me right now. The Maidens, which very much kind of falls into that category. It's much more of like a thriller type thing, but very dark academia set at, that's it, like an Ivy League institution and everything. And there's this weird group of girls who call themselves the Maidens and are essentially followers of a particular professor there. It is very strange. There are a lot of weird, dark elements to it. And again, there's like a death. Like, there's all kinds of stuff. But they have to do something to keep your interest that way. Because if not, you'd be like, oh, okay, it's like a secret club at a school, and it would be kind of boring.
But yeah, like, there has to be something. Okay, like, when you say secret society. Yeah. Like, let's think about that for a second. Because that just means that it's like... a club, a gathering, a community that has existed for multiple generations at this point is the assumption. Sure. And there's something about it. Like, there's a hook about it. Yeah. Like, you can't just be like, you want to join our chess club? Like, you know what I mean? No. Like there's something, if it's secret, then they're up to something clandestine.
Usually, yes, exactly. Usually something, maybe not nefarious, but something that normally wouldn't be allowed during like the daylight hours, necessarily, because, or that like the administration would bar them from doing in some way, whether it's like pranking or like performing some form of ritual that is not something that the school would, you know, like look kindly upon. I've even read some that are like, you know, like they have the vibe, but they're a little more casual. Like, they're not like at like an Ivy League necessarily, but they fall into that. They kind of fall into that category because it's like, you know, a group of friends who get together and like use like the school grounds for like watching. Like, there's one that I read that was about like a group of friends who have like a club for like horror movies and stuff. And then like there are like pranks and stuff and things that escalate to murders that start happening that are in the theme of like the horror movies that they're watching. And so like the main character starts kind of looking into that, but it's like their little club that does this type of thing. So, you know.
But again, that's not like a secret society, though.
No, it's just like a club. That's it.
It's just like we hang out in the day and we watch horror
So like
movies.
Not all of them are necessarily, but I don't know. But there is something like, right? Like, this is why we're still seeing films and books being written and things like that, and people investigating secret societies, because like it's interesting. The unknown is fascinating for people.
The like being the outsider looking in, right? Like, it's that we're not supposed to know about this, which makes us even more drawn to it.
Yeah.
You know, you
That
can
makes
find a bunch of people like playing with lightsabers or something.
Yeah, like they could
that's
be doing
your secret society.
They could be doing absolutely
you know?
nothing. We would have.
But like, if you didn't know about it, then like it's still kind of like, ooh, what are they doing there?
Yeah, that's it. It could be something really interesting. It's probably not, but it could be something really interesting.
They're like, we're literally called the Lightsaber Brigade. What did you expect?
Wow, that would be but also funny if it were the case. No, but it's true. But I think that that there's always just we love an element of mystery. I mean, look, there's a reason that like mystery books are so widely sold and continue to be so widely published, because people are fascinated with the idea of the unknown
and the breadcrumbs of like discovering what it is.
Small bits of information, whether it's being revealed by people who have formerly taken part in these societies, or someone who has investigated it, who's managed to uncover maybe elements or like nuggets of information within them, whatever the case might be. It's just something that we find interesting as a society ourselves, and I guess that continue, I mean, you know, as I'm sure people who are writing books do, and so that in and of itself kind of continues, I guess, to translate into like the popular literature that we see being published on a regular basis. You know, you've got people continually. That's it. Like I'm saying, like, you know, like Leigh Bardugo jumped to mind because Ninth House, like the Alex Stern novels are very popular. There are 2 out. I believe that she's announced that the 3rd one will be published next year now, if I'm not mistaken.
What's the second one called?
Hellbent, if I'm not mistaken. And that's it. I think that the 3rd one is meant to be published next year, so that's like to be expected. What else is there? R.F. Kuang, like, has recently had, like, her newest out, and even her previous novel, like, Babel, kind of delves, if I'm not mistaken, into some things a little bit on the dark academia side of things as well. These are just things that are of interest to people, and I don't think that we're going to stop talking about them anytime soon. But, you know, I can also obviously appreciate in a lot of cases that while we're seeing a lot of, while we see these really interesting stories and things like that, and like a lot of us kind of love, we're like, oh, I love like the idea of like a dark sort of like Cambridge set, like kind of like, I don't know, like fantasy type of thing.
Then it's like it's a real place you could go to.
Yeah, that's it. You know? Like I love like the idea of that and stuff like that. I do also, I know that dark academia kind of toes the line a bit, and that also there are like, you know, pretty valid criticisms for it, in the sense that a lot of dark academia does kind of overall just kind of push and promote like sort of like Eurocentricity as a rule, and like, you know, kind of like much more like westernized culture generally speaking and things like that. And it sort of, you know, doesn't feel very diversified as a rule and stuff in terms of the settings and the characters and the things that you see kind of over and over again. Like, it's true that it's not exactly a subgenre that has a lot of diversity. It's pretty lacking,
but it's
in that way.
Kind of limited though.
Yeah.
Like there isn't an abundance of it. Like when there's a series that starts, like you get like 23 books in it.
Oh God.
You know?
Yeah.
But like it's not, there isn't like a ton.
No.
And I think it's because, you know, one of our upcoming discussions will be why is it so difficult to adapt?
Yeah.
That I think that may play a role in this too.
That's true. That there's like maybe kind of like a lack of certain things to a degree that would truly qualify as dark academia in that way. Anyway, I'm kind of curious to see, I guess, like as time goes on, if we keep seeing these, and if as they're published, if we do continue to see these dark academia novels that are focused on these like secret societies and like clandestine little clubs where we're like, oh, we're using school property and we're playing pranks on people and it goes wrong. Like, you know, like those,
somebody's dead.
Yeah, that's it, like those types of vibes, if we're going to continue, because we get a lot of that in the YA sphere too.
Yeah, but we tend to, it goes like in trends, right?
Yeah,
like,
definitely.
That's like our trend now, but you know, 15 years ago it was dystopian.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
So who knows, right? We'll kind of see maybe like what the turnaround will look like and what will come back around, which it will continue to do.
Oh, yeah,
There's no question.
Like bell bottoms.
Wow. That was a specific one. Anyway, we're kind of going to be chatting about, that's it, like other aspects of dark academia itself for the rest of the month. In the meantime, obviously, feel free to check out everything that we've got going on over on the website. We've got some articles and stuff like that about the topic coming out as well at fullybooked.ca. Follow us on all of our social media, so Instagram, TikTok, Threads, Blue Sky. Just search for Fully Booked CA and you will find us there. But until next week, guys, keep on reading.
Thanks, everyone.